Hello, all of you. Here we begin with chapter 2 for the GST, that is supply, right? We have already completed chapter 1 introduction, wherein the emphasis was on how the GST started in July 2017 and how is it applicable in all the states, little bit of history, all genesis amendments in the constitution. And most important, we have studied in the first chapter is that diagram we have made in our notebook with example manufacturer to wholesaler and all. So how it is a value addition tax, there is no cascading effect. This is the emphasis of chapter 1. Now listen, dear students, many of you are feeling that how we are studying that much detail is required or not. Answer is yes. Trust me, as a teacher, I have taken efforts and you all have taken efforts, and we have completed more than 150 hours of direct tax coaching. We have built up a super base for inter and final as well as exam oriented coaching. Same we are going to do in GST. Frankly, I can teach just the supply for 1 week with 100 of examples, not required. We are not going to do PhD in supply, right or not? So GST, what efforts you have put in direct taxes compared to that 20% effort portion is super easy. The introduction, and now today we are doing what exactly is supply, on what GST is charged. Third chapter is connecting to second chapter. Charges, how the GST is levied. What should be the time of charge when GST is charged? What should be the value of transaction? When I am required to get registered, how do I make payments? How do I file my return? So very basic things are there. Understand it. And this 40 mark GST paper is all practical. All practical. So in this chapter 2, you must have seen more than 35 examples are printed. Add-ons from my side, I will add the example. And weightage wise, you definitely get 4 marks question, wherein they will ask you, is this supply of goods, is this supply of service, or it is in the negative list, right? So this may take 3 classes, 4 classes, no deadline ki ye chapter ko khatam karna hai, because these are like super base. But again, one thing I am saying, there will be terms I will be starting to introduce today, and they are going to be studied in depth and repeated, in depth and repeated. If you see your ICI's material, every chapter is starting with definitions. So what I'm doing is the important definitions, all I'm going to cover now. Now definitions, do you have to write in exam, define supplier, receiver? Answer is no. You should understand the terms so that when you solve the questions, you apply that knowledge. That much is enough. At inter-level, sections and definitions are not required to be buttified. Have I made it clear? Right? So how we are going to do exam oriented? Definitely you all should get exemption, and definitely you should know the concept so that when you work in offices along after writing your exams, you should be able to understand all the basics. Then if you want to do PhD into that, of course you will do GST more in depth in final, and more specialist you want to become, there are more. After becoming CEO also post-graduation courses are there in direct tax, indirect tax, GST and all, right? So this is what is hierarchy. You cannot learn and I cannot teach you the expertise knowledge of GST right now. मतलब ये inter level में नहीं possible है और जरूरत भी नहीं है उतना. Okay, it's not just that 40 marks I'm talking. I hope I've made this clear, because students are having doubt, ma'am, how we are learning. This material is made in line with ICI. You can trust this material for your exam. ICI's back questions after the chapter is over. I'm thinking to solve it in the class only. Wherever the chapter is completed, we will discuss all the questions of that chapter in the class. That's enough. Past exam papers, you need not buy any other book and material. Running notes, you should write. When I'm writing, there's a reason, so you should also write it. Did you all understand how IGST and SGST and all is set up in yesterday's example? Yes? Yeah, you can put all the messages in the chat box. Okay? Right. Yeah. Thank you for saying it's all clear. Chalo. Chat box is on. If you're watching it as recording, still you can ask me. So the name of this chapter is supply. The name of this chapter is supply, chapter 2 of GST. Yes, we have covered chapter 1 and 2 classes. That's over. Now here some definitions are there. In fact, let us go to our notebook, our running notebook, and there we have already written 4 pages for the abbreviations and 4 pages for the sections. So right now today we are actually doing section 7. हाँ मैम आपने बोले थे sections important नहीं है. अरे सुनो तो the important things no. I'll tell you the secret by the end of this chapter, maybe after 3 days. You see, the importance is that this is already this chapter, the weightage wise, what are important 3 sections in section 7, they are already printed thrice in your material. So don't worry about that. I hope now this is all very clear. Chalo, let us start now with the chapter 2, and in that some definitions are there. Now, as I said, definitions, just understand, it should not be actually definitions. These are like terms. You should know these terms. So I'm just drawing something on the screen to explain you. This is not that running notes. You remember you all have written these running notes. ये set of rules आपने कल लिखे थे. You have written this example also, and how the taxes goes to the state and center, for that also we have solved. So like this, some notes are to be written. So give the heading chapter 2, and that is supply. Now GST is charged. GST is charged on supply. Okay, we'll read the definitions. First, we are understanding the concept. GST is charged on supply. Supply has to be of goods or services. See, one nation, one tax. Earlier for goods, it was VAT and CST. For services, it was service tax, then octroi, so many taxes. The business people were confused. And even the department, the central and state government, named, this is my tax, this is your tax, excise to yahan chahiye, ye to wahan chahiye. Now it is all uniform GST. And the state and center is clear how they are going to share the taxes. Okay. So GST is charged on supply. So you are supplying goods or you are supplying services. Now, what do you mean by goods? The definition of goods is same which is given in Sale of Goods Act 1930. Sale of Goods Act में क्या definition है goods का? It includes all movable items. All movable items are included in goods. Yes, including specifically they have included actionable claim. I can just teach actionable claim for half an hour, but just coming 10 minutes, I'll clear the meaning and that's enough. We are not studying law. We are studying income tax. In that we are studying GST, right or not? So goods, supply of goods, that is movable items, right? Actionable claims included here. Actionable claims means where you have right to get the money. For example, you can write insurance claim. Insurance claim is an actionable claim. Something goes wrong, you will get a claim. Lottery is an actionable claim. You buy the lottery for 1,000 rupees and it's gambling, of course, but then it is legal. In so many states, it is legal. So on lottery, is GST charged? Yes. Right. So this is charged on all the goods, including actionable claims. Actionable claims, the definition and all is there in detail. GST is charged. GST is charged. Yes, Left hand side we are writing. And this also includes growing crops. Then you will say, ma'am, agricultural पे तो किसी को power ही नहीं है ना. Income tax also we are charging indirectly. Step method, add agriculture, non-agriculture, pay tax and so on. Then why growing crops are included in the goods? You know, there are trees which may be grown up in the 10 years, and whatever the wood you get by cutting that tree, it's a very precious tree of teak wood or sandalwood, and then you are allowed to sell it in the market. So this is all a business, and that growing crops which are definitely going to be cut and sold in the market, they are all included. Okay, so just have an overview knowledge as if आप कोई न्यूज सुन रहे हैं, आप बुक पढ़ रहे हैं, तो कितने रिलैक्स मोड में होते हैं, वैसे ही सुनिए बस. And these terms, if they are important, automatically, ma'am, we are in the 6th chapter, still we are doing definition. Ma'am, we are in the 7th chapter, still we are doing definition. And I've literally seen one definition is there called as aggregate turnover. What is the meaning of aggregate turnover? From chapter 3 to registration to, it's like passed on to every chapter. So GST is chargeable on supply. Supply includes supply of goods and services. Definition of goods is all movable items or properties, you can say, including actionable claims, growing crops and all. You can't say, ma'am, growing crops are attached to land, so वो तो immovable हो गए. But then they are going to be sold, no? They are going to be cut down and they are going to be made movable. So yes. And then services. Supply of services. You all know what is services. You're rendering services of teaching, of saloon, or warranty, guarantee, any kind of the services. GST is chargeable on all the services. The definition of services is indirect. They call it as anything other than goods. Anything other than goods. Yes, right? Now, both of these, यहाँ से goods, यहाँ पे services, exclude money. Money पे GST नहीं लगता है. Exclude money and securities. Yes, securities we are charging stamp duty, we are charging STT, we are not charging GST. So both goods and services exclude money and securities. Yeah, but like in this definition, there are so many inclusions and exclusions. GST is not chargeable on money and securities, but definitely on exchange commission. You know, when you use money and you render services, like I'm giving you 1,000 rupees and asking you to give $1 or whatever it is, and you're doing it for a commission. On exchange commission, GST is charged. On exchange commission, GST is charged. Are you all getting? Yes. So, of course, this is all given in the printed material, but did you get an overview what we are doing in this chapter? Ma'am, GST is chargeable on what? Goods and services. What are goods? What are services? Yes. Who's going to charge the GST? Okay, sometimes, you know, the services are rendered together. Like I go to a parlor and I say I need hair coloring services. If it is L'Oreal, it's 5,000. If it is some another brand, it is 3,000. So am I buying that hair coloring product or service? These are called as bundled service, composite service, mixed service. So how the GST is charged, we will see in this chapter. I'm just telling you, so many beautiful questions will be answered, and still you have questions. GST is a dynamic subject. Keep on asking in the chat box, I will clear it. You all are connected through WhatsApp group, Telegram group. पूछो आप जो भी doubt है आपके mind में. And this chapter has got no problems, dear students. Like I'm telling you, I'm going to solve too many problems in ITC, time of supply, value of supply. But hardly problems I'm going to do here, but more than 35 to 40 examples. And in exam, they'll give you the example and they'll ask you, is this supply of goods? You're going to a restaurant. Acha, you book a birthday party in a hotel and they give you the catering services, ma'am, 500 per plate. But including the catering, they give you the stage, they give you the music, they give you a banquet hall. So isn't it like multiple things bundled together? They're giving you the convention hall, they're giving you the food, they're giving you music, they're giving you electricity and current in that room and everything for 3 hours. So like this, we go to tours and all. So isn't it a package per person, per room we are paying, but then breakfast is included, other amenities are there, sightseeing is included. So then how these services are, we are going to pay them? Is this supply of goods? Is this supply of services? And there comes emotions. There are some services or some supply of goods which are specifically exempt from GST. इन पे GST नहीं लगेगा. So okay, like for the base level example, I'm saying you crematorium services. Yes, when someone is deceased and we go to the crematorium and there all services are performed, and then you have to get the death certificate. It's not an easy procedure. So for all these services, you don't have to pay GST. Specifically excluded in the exemption list. So this is something what we are going to do. First, take down this, and if you have any doubt, ask me. Chapter number 2, running notes, minimalist, you can say minimum running notes. Unnecessarily, I don't want to waste my energy, your energy. मुझे मालूम है कि आप कितना लिख के practice करते हैं, and I'll make you do the examples and problems. But this is like, you know, when I'm making running notes, my mindset is only on the MCQs. I don't want you all to lose marks in MCQs and objective questions. And beautiful part of the GST is this chapter, I said the weightage is 4 marks, dear students. 1 mark question is asked. They'll give you 4 examples and they'll ask you bit questions which are like so easy. Yes. Now we know that GST is charged on supply of goods or services. Any doubt till here? All clear? Sure. Yes. Now, we should know who is the supplier. Thank you for the messages. That means you all are listening. That's what motivates me to teach more and more. कि आप बहुत ध्यान से पढ़ते हैं, लिखते हैं. And I've seen the direct tax running notes also for business head. And then it is passed on also. Some of you are learning and you are sharing it with others. It's good. Okay. Who is supplier? The person who is rendering, transferring the goods or rendering the services. Person who is, now you need not write. This is just my way of explanation. Supplier is a person who is transferring. If you feel I have gone fast and you're not able to take down, then pause the video and take it, please. Yes, so that we can move now. The person transferring the goods or rendering the service is called as supplier. Ma'am, can we call them seller? That is in sale of goods act. Seller and buyer. We will not use that term. Ma'am, why are we not using seller? अरे dear students, seller अगर use करोगे goods के लिए, तो फिर services के लिए service provider use करना पड़ेगा. So the better term is supplier. If you want, you can write. But are you clear? Supplier. He is the seller of the goods or he is the service provider of the service. Next is recipient. Recipient, who is receiving the goods or service. The person who is receiving the goods or the service is usually the recipient. It is not always the buyer. Sometimes it's the third party also. Buyer, or you can say service receiver, who is receiving the goods or the service. Is the service receiver. Recipient. Recipient, they call it. Yes? Right. Now there is a term used more than second chapter, third chapter, but I want to introduce it now. Now when I'm talking about person, a person की भी definition है, वो that is printed, I'll teach from there. Important things I'm fitting it into your mind by writing. RCM stands for reverse charge mechanism. RCM stands for reverse charge mechanism. Who is supplier? Who is supplying the goods? Who is recipient? Who is receiving the goods or service? Who will charge the GST? Supplier. But in case of RCM, in case of reverse charge mechanism, these are exception cases where supplier is rendering services to the recipient. Recipient will charge GST. In detail, this is covered in third chapter. I'm telling you, while teaching and while learning, you will not come to know in the flow when we have shifted from second to third chapter. Second chapter is ma'am kya hai supply. Third chapter is ma'am kya rate pe charge karu. It's the two answers. Supplier is only rendering the service or selling the goods to recipient. But GST is collected and collected from the recipient only, but to government who is paying. See, GST is indirect tax. Yes or no? Supplier is giving service to recipient. Recipient, on 100 rupees, you have to bear 18 rupees GST. 100 rupees is my sale value, 18 rupees I'll give to government. Ye sab kaun karega? Supplier. In reverse charge mechanism, the recipient who is receiving the service will pay the GST to government. For example, इंश्योरेंस, ये सब डिटेल में आपके मटेरियल में प्रिंटेड है. आई टोल्ड यू, गाना, नया गाना जब आप सुनते हो ना, तो यू व्हाट डू यू डू एक्चुअली व्हेन यू लिसन टू अ न्यू सॉन्ग? व्हाट डू यू डू? यस, हाँ, 2-4 बार सुनोगे चांद बालियां चांद, तो वो म्यूजिक के बाद वर्डिंग थोड़े याद हुए, राइट और नॉट? इट्स लाइक दैट. आई एम फिटिंग इनटू योर माइंड. ओके. इंश्योरेंस एजेंट rendering services to insurance company. Agent is giving agency services. Agent should say to the company, give me GST on my commission. But commission insurance company will give to agent, but insurance company will pay the GST to government. Ma'am, why? There are reasons. Details we will do in the topic called RCM. RCM is a full 2 hours topic. But now are you broadening yourself or not? Ma'am, I am the supplier. I have got right to charge GST. No, dear. Sometimes the recipient will also charge the GST. One more nice example is, company has booked cab service for their employees. You know, they've hired a cab person, and that cab person is small individual. So that cab wala is giving service to the company. Cab wala should charge GST. GST will be charged on the cab service, but company will pay the GST to government on reverse charge mechanism. Reverse charge के लिए एक और best way of explaining it. I am generating income for Archana. Archana, you paid the tax to government, no? What is TDS? I am generating tax deducted at source. I am only giving you 10 rupees. Then I am only collecting 1 rupee back and paying to government. And giving you 9 rupees check and 1 rupees I am giving you certificate. On your behalf, I have paid the tax. So same way, recipient is going to pay the tax. That term is called as RCM, reverse charge mechanism. I think major terms I have introduced. Yes, one more thing. Every person who's having turnover of 20 lakhs and all should get registered under the GST. Yes, registration का पूरा chapter है. But in India, GST registration is PAN based. Listen to this example. In India, GST registration is PAN based. Okay. Now, with the PAN, can we have different branches? One branch in Hyderabad, Telangana state, another in Mumbai, Maharashtra, third in Delhi, fourth in Gurgaon, fifth in Kolkata. So when a person is having same PAN but different branches, he will get different registration. Just listen to it. Registration chapter में हम detail करेंगे. Then the A branch and the B branch will be called as distinct entity. I wanted to introduce this term. A branch and B branch are branches of same head office with the same PAN number, but the GST registration in the state wise is done separately. Yeah, GST registration is state wise, no? Just state में limit cross होगी, you're liable to do the GST registration. So you're registered in A state and B state, though the company is same. Bhagyavati Hyderabad and Bhagyavati Lapur, Maharashtra. So these are like two different entities. They are called as distinct entity. Okay. So this is all about introducing the definitions. Yes. Right. 1 second. Yes. Now what we can do is, let us read the definitions one by one from our material. I'm again saying, do you trust my way of teaching income tax, how I've made you learn the important sections? Now if I ask you in the class, HRA का section क्या है? कौन बोलेगा first? HRA, house rent allowance. You get exemption, no, under HRA. Rent paid minus 10%. ऐसे ही just random push. I know I'm teaching GST. I'm giving you that confidence. Good, good, good. Section 10, subsection 13A. Minor gets a deduction. Section 10, subsection 32. So if they are important sections, I'll make you learn. In GST, don't worry about too many sections and definitions, but you need to have knowledge to understand the concept or implementation of GST. So that's why I have myself not printed the sections in these definitions. As a teacher, I should करना चाहिए, but अब मैंने नहीं किया, छोड़ दो, because जब सिलेबस ही बोल रहा है कि इंटर में इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है सेक्शंस, तो हम छोड़ देते हैं. चलो, डेफिनेशन में गुड्स, every kind of the movable property other than money and security is very important for MCQ. On money, GST is not charged, security is not charged, but include actionable claim. Actionable claim आगे defined है. Growing crops, grass and things attached to or forming part of land which are agreed to be severed before supply or under a contract. See, they are a part of the land, but very important is it should be movable. They are agreed to be severed before supply. So right now they are growing 3 feet, 5 feet. Once they are 10 feet, it will be cut and it will be sold. And on all these businesses, GST is very well chargeable. GST is like supplier is a person. So person includes same like income tax. In income tax, this definition is very important. So section 2, subsection 31. यहाँ मत लिखना, ये indirect tax है. So a person includes individual, HUF, company, firm, LLP, AOP, BOI, corporation established under central and state government, body corporate, cooperative society, local authority, trust, AJP, temples and all. किसी को नहीं छोड़ा. ISKCON temple, you are selling those products, no? You have to pay the GST. Ramakrishna Mart, there is a bookstore, no? You have to pay. Apart from your yoga classes and all. So like this Patanjali and all the products and services and yoga classes, GST is very well charged. Unless there are some exemptions and go for kuch exception, but otherwise. So person definition is this. Now, supply should be taxable supply of goods or services which is leviable under the Act. There are some exempt supply, some zero rated supply. So supply should be taxable. If the supply is not taxable, then on what you are going to charge the GST? For example, if I donate my old laptop to an orphanage nearby, when I purchase the laptop, I have paid GST. I have taken input tax credit, but now I have donated it. Okay. So am I actually doing a taxable supply? Am I doing it for my business purpose? Am I donating? No, it's a genuine charity and I don't want my name also in that. So GST is not charged, but yes, input credit has to be reversed. वो फिर हम 6th chapter में देखेंगे ITC. So in short, if you want to supply goods and services, it should be taxable supply. Taxable territory. GST is chargeable to whole of India from 1st of July. ये बार लिखो. I want all of you to scribble. It's like birth date of GST. 1st July 2017. Only from in this state, 8th July. So थोड़ा time लगा था Jammu and Kashmir. And now they have been divided into 2 union territories, but definitely GST is applicable in Jammu and Kashmir also and Ladakh also. Non-taxable territory means territory which is outside the taxable territory. Okay, these are all very simple. India's same definition we have seen in income tax. India includes territorial waters. Yes, if some services, say you are going for a nice boat ride into the Arabian Sea from Mumbai to Goa and all, and there you get all the services, the food, the pool and all. You can't say, अरे हम तो इंडिया के बाहर आ गए, हम तो डीप समुंदर में 200 nautical miles, हम services render करें तो इंडिया को क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So whether you sell goods or services on board, on air, those balloon services are there no nowadays, paragliding, sailing, all these, on all these underwater services or whatever it is, activities, and so many activities are going on, no? On all this GST is charged. So India includes territorial waters, seabed, continental shelves, and SEZ. ये सब मतलब exclusive economic zone included. I'm going little fast here because the same definitions we have done in income tax also, and some of you are using phone also for your classes. So in case if you are not having that much comfort to type, bindas, irrespective of recording going on, you can unmute and speak up in the class. Don't wait till the end. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, पूछो. Manufacture. Manufacturing का meaning क्या है? Oh, when you put some raw material and you get a different kind of the product, it's called as manufacturing. I'm putting potatoes and I'm getting Lay's chips. I'm getting cocoa powder, milk powder, and I'm getting dairy milk chocolate. So means processing of raw material in a manner that it emerges into a different product with different name, character, use. It's called as manufacturing. Yeah. Can I ask all of you, star बनाना आता है नहीं? इसको 5-star खिलाओ, KitKat खिलाओ. These definitions, word to word, I want you to learn. Supplier and recipient, because you'll have to quote in every chapter. From here till the 6th chapter are base building chapter. Concept. तो आप ध्यान से पढ़ो. Now why I didn't do star? ये सब बड़े easy है, बस एक बार read कर लो. R for reading enough. चलो. Supplier, in relation to any goods or service or both, shall mean person supplying the goods or services or both, and shall include agent acting as such on behalf of supplier. Yes, supplier is a person who is supplying goods or supplying services or both. I'll tell you both ka best example is when you give your vehicle for servicing. Till date, GST is charged differently. In one bill, if you're giving your 4-wheeler for servicing, so the washing and wheel alignment and all on that GST is payable as per the services rate. And if you have changed some tires or some parts and seat covers and all, then it is like sale of the goods. So supplier is a person who is supplying goods or service, and it includes agent, principal agent relationship. Recipient is the person of supply of goods and services where a consideration is payable for supply of goods or services, the person who's liable to pay the consideration. I have rendered teaching service to you. You are liable to pay me fees. You are recipient. Recipient is where consideration is payable against supply of goods or service. So the person who is liable to pay the consideration is a recipient. Where no consideration is payable for supply of goods, the person to whom the goods are delivered or made available, or to whom possession or use of the goods is given, that is a recipient. Sometimes, I'm rendering the services. For example, stock transfers and all. So stock transfer, branch transfer, अगर interstate है तो GST लगता है. That is again covered detail. But you're not paying me any consideration. We are same manufacturing unit and the selling counter. But I have transferred the goods to my branch. No consideration is payable, but the person to whom the goods are made available, he is called recipient. Recipient is the person who either pays me money, and if you just receive the goods or services and you don't know, but you have received, no, then also you are a recipient. Third, where no consideration is payable for supply of services, the person to whom service is rendered. I know थोड़ा सा लॉ के जैसे आप बोलो दीप्ति मैम आपको टैक्स के साथ लॉ भी पढ़ाना आता है ठीक है, but this is important. I am only saying when I am giving it 5-star KitKat सब खिला रहे हैं, बार बार पढ़ो. Recipient is a person who pays sale consideration for goods or services, or a recipient is a person to whom goods are given or to whom services are rendered. हो गया. Person who is liable to pay, or person to whom goods are given, person to whom services are rendered. And reference to a person to whom supply is made shall be construed as reference to recipient and shall include an agent acting as such on behalf of recipient. Yeah, agent. Principal agent can be supplier, recipient and vice versa. Principal agent का detailed discussion हम करेंगे. चलो. Money पे GST नहीं है. Money does not include just currency. Check, promissory note, bills of exchange, letter of credit. ये सबको मालूम है ना, ट्रैवलर्स चेक यूज करते हैं, मनी ऑर्डर, पोस्टल, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक ट्रांसफर, all these are different forms of money, plastic money and debit card, RTGS and NIFT and all. Yeah, so money includes all. money पे वहां पे लिखो ना प्लीज एरो मार्क करके no GST. No GST. When you will scribble in your material, it will be very clear to all of you. Okay. So by RBI, when used to settle an obligation, money should be such that it is going to be used to settle an obligation. मतलब पैसे देके आपका काम होना चाहिए. You get goods and services, then it's a money, but shall not include any currency that is held for numismatic value. Now, what is this numismatic value? Antique, old currency. Antique old currency. You cannot buy today with that or sell today with that, एक आना, दो आना, चार आना. I don't know how many of you must be knowing. 25 paisa. चार आना, we have used चार आना. So चार आना is this 25 paisa coin, which is not a legal money. You cannot buy anything in 25 paisa, right? चार आना, आठ आना. But then are these antiques having a market? Are they being sold? Yes. Will GST be levied? Answer is yes. Take your time. Ask me doubts for money. 3 concepts. पहले एक बार फिर से सुनो. On money, as a product on money, GST is not charged. I am giving you 5,000 rupees, Rishabh, and I am asking you, can you please, instead of this 500 notes, can you give me 100 notes? You give me 5,000. इस पे GST लगेगा? नहीं लगेगा. So on money, GST is not there. But in exchange of money, when I'm converting into currency and I'm paying you commission, on that commission GST is there. Currency conversion की commission पे GST लगेगा? Answer is yes. Is GST chargeable on money which is like antique numismatic value वहाँ लिख दो, running notes में जाने की जरूरत नहीं, यहीं पे book में scribble कर दो. Answer is yes. I may be going little bit more slow. Check all your material. Third chapter, fourth chapter. ये definitions बार बार है तो I am not going to do it बार बार. You read it today word to word. Tomorrow also we are going to do this same chapter. Schedule 1 I am going to discuss tomorrow. तब आपको जो doubt है पहले ma'am can you revise this definition? I will do. The next definition is actionable claim. Okay. Actionable claim. Actionable claim has the पहले पढ़ लेते हैं, then I'll explain you the meaning. Same meaning as assigned in transfer of the property act. Actionable claim means the claim to any debt other than debt secured by mortgage of immovable property, hypothecation. वो सब include नहीं है. Other than. So actionable claim cannot be said you have mortgaged the house and I've given you the loan and अब उस पे GST लगेगा नहीं लगेगा. Or beneficial interest in movable property not in possession either actual or constructive, while the civil courts recognize as, sometimes you can call it as contract, agreement for constructions and all. Where such debt or beneficial interest, ये R for reading कर दो. Actionable claim में exam oriented कितना करना है, I'm going to tell you. Example of actionable claims are unsecured debts. Unsecured debts are a part of actionable claims. So like, insurance service, I want all of you to write example here. Insurance claim पे GST लगता है. I have taken policy and when I get the maturity value and then I'm getting, it's a kind of service now. I'm saying I'm paying you premium 1,000, 10,000. After few years, you give me 15,000 and something goes wrong, you pay me 1 lakh rupees claim. So are you doing risk coverage as the service? Yes. Is it an actionable claim? वो जो insurance का cover note होता है, it's called cover note. Is it an actionable claim? Yes, GST is charged. It's called as cover note. Lottery, GST is charged. Lottery is an actionable claim in GST. इसको छोड़ के generally GST is not. It's written here. Right to participate in the property to draw. It must be noted actionable claim is specifically included in definition of goods. Actionable claims other than lottery, betting, gambling shall be treated neither as supply of goods nor as service. Lottery, betting, gambling in सब पे actionable claim पे GST लगता है and that is enough for you. Actionable claim की definition में इतना बस है. Service. Now goods are over. Service means anything other than goods but excluding money and securities and includes activities relating. Service include activity relating to use of money. Commission on currency exchange. GST, yes. Commission on currency exchange. Yes. For which a separate consideration is charged. The conversion by cash or any other mode from one form of currency to another, that's the same thing I'm saying. So services include everything. Now, what do you mean by consideration? Consideration is what is coming to you. It could come in monetary terms or it could come in non-monetary terms. Yes, I am teaching you GST. Can you teach my son French? Ma'am, इसमें तो कोई पैसे नहीं है. फिर भी the fees I'm charging for GST to other students, that is the fees. The fees you are charging to other students for teaching French, that is the fees. So consideration need not always be in money terms. Okay, right. Consideration, okay, we'll do one thing. Just read the definition first and then I will explain. Sometimes I'm explaining first and then reading. Consideration in relation to the supply of goods or services or both includes any payment made or to be made whether in money or otherwise, in respect, in response to, for inducement, supply of goods or service, whether by recipient or by any other person, but shall not include subsidy given by central government. I am giving services to the central government, and if they are giving me any subsidy, on that GST is not there. मैम सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को जीएसटी लगता है, बिल्कुल लगता है, और रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म आरसीएम में लगेगा, पढ़ेंगे हम आगे. एनी हाउ, व्हाट इज कंसिडरेशन? यस, व्हाट इज कंसिडरेशन? कंसिडरेशन इज एनी पेमेंट मेड इन मनी टर्म्स व्हेन यू आर रेंडरिंग द सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज. ठीक है? और monetary value of any act of forbearance in response or for inducement of supply of goods or services, whether by recipient or any person, but shall not include the subsidy by government. Consideration can come for a recipient also, and it can come from anyone else also. ठीक है? Right. 1 minute. So this is clear to you. Consideration is anything which is coming in the form of money or in any other form, that too from the recipient or maybe from the third party. Recipient may be a person and you may get the money from the agent and like that. Yes, okay. But consideration has to be there, then only the supply is valid. Yes, ये भी आगे आएगा. Right now we are in the definition of consideration. But if you see the definition of supply only, they have given. अच्छा, supply का definition अभी हमने नहीं किया ना. Supply के definition में आएगा कि it has to be for consideration. So consideration is any payment made or monetary value made or any way either directly from the recipient or the third person. But subsidy received from central government is never a part of the consideration. ठीक है? Right. An example I am giving here, that charitable institute, you are giving some donations and all, then they are not giving you in return any money terms or anything, nothing they are giving actually. So it is not a consideration. Now, very much important is GST should be charged on business transactions. GST is not charged on personal transactions, except import of services. आएगा आपको आगे. But when we say GST is charged on business, it is actually, I can recollect section 28 of income tax, which talks about what is a business and a profession. Here, they have given a very wide term of the business. One time also, if you are doing the transaction, you cannot say, ma'am, ये थोड़ी business है, ये तो एक ही बार हमने event किया. Only once we have put up the stall in an exhibition. Only one side. I am not into construction business. But once I have the property, Ravneek is into the construction, and together we are building a flat और एक बड़ा tower बना के flat sale कर दिए, हो गया property, like joint venture. One time also, if you do the activity, it is a business and you have to pay GST. So let us now read. I am again saying, if you want, you can write here R for read. बस आप ये definition पढ़ लो, important मतलब नहीं है कि आपको learn करना पड़े. Yes, the pumping heart of this is this. ये एक बार फिर इसको वापस से मैंने यहाँ flow chart में भी लिखा है और एक पीछे भी है. This. So section 7 we are going to do, but yes, some more definitions are there. वो पहले पढ़ते हैं. Read the definitions and let me know tomorrow when I continue with the section 7 if you have any doubt. Business includes any trade, trading, buying and selling, commerce, manufacturing, profession, degree holders, interiors, architects, vocation, skill, singing and all that, craft work and all. Adventure activities. It's just taking people for tracks, monsoon tracks, vigor, or any other activity which or not is for a pecuniary benefit. Pecuniary benefit means कोई profit motive से है या नहीं है. So if you are talking about those, again I am saying those missionary works, trust, those samsthas, You know, there are one example I can recollect in Maharashtra. There is an ashram wherein non-handicapped people are there and they make very nice candles and daris and all, and they're being sold. Okay, so selling is, the motive is different, but do they have to? Are they doing the business? Yes. Only for the business part, GST is going to be there. Okay, an activity or transaction in connection with or incidental or ancillary to this. So related to trade commerce, if you're doing any other activity, that is my business is to sell mobile phones, TVs, electronics. But if I am selling it with warranty, giving warranty, is it a service? Yes. I am selling cars, but with cars, I'm giving insurance services. I'm doing some personalization for the speakers and all for car. Is it also a part of my business? Yes. For everything, I'm willing to give an example to make it clear. If you want to note down, note down. And if you feel कहीं पे मैं भूल गई, मैंने सिर्फ पढ़ लिया, you want an example, ma'am, give example for C point. I'll give. Any activity or transaction with this, you call it as ancillary. Ancillary services, you can write the example as warranty. My main business is to sell TVs, mobile phones, but I'm giving warranty. I'm selling cars, but then I'm giving insurance. Any activity or transaction in the nature of clause, whether or not there is volume, frequency, continuity, or regularity of each transaction. Yes. So business is business irrespective of volume, frequency, continuity. Ma'am, एक ही बार transaction की है, but if it is in crores of rupees or whatever it may be, GST is charged. Supply or acquisition of goods, including capital goods. Ma'am, I'm not buying these goods to sell. This is for my machinery. I'm into teaching. I'm not buying this camera, this laptop for selling. But can I avail, do I need to pay GST on this? Yes. When I sell this laptop and camera, do I need to pay GST? Yes. So GST is levied on your revenue goods, on your capital goods, on your services. For teaching services, I'm using some softwares. And on that softwares or antivirus and all, am I paying GST? Yes. Provisions by clubs, associations, societies. This I told you. Housing societies may, there is Resident Welfare Association, very popularly known as RWA, Resident Welfare. They collect from everyone the money and then they have pool and they have clubhouse and they pay electricity bills and they maintain liftman and watchman. On all these services, is GST there? Yes. Example, लिखते जाओ sir. Admission for consideration of a person to any premises, amusement park, admission. Admission is not school admission. This is to any premises, zoo park or amusement park or water parks and theaters and all. So are you taking entry by paying? Yes. Excuse me. Are they giving you services? Yes. Do you need to pay GST? Yes. Services supplied by a person as the holder of an office which has been accepted by him in course of furtherance of the trade, business and all. So for supply of your goods and all, you open services, you provide through agents and franchises and branches and all are included. This is all a wide definition of business. No need to buttify, read it, know it. Services provided by race club by way of total later or license or bookmaker. In short, you know, the race club, they are providing services and they charge commission on your income, what they are generating and all. So on commission income, basically races में commission income है जिस पे GST लगता है. Okay, right. Now, definition of related person. Ma'am, two persons are said to be relative. Relatives definition we have studied in income tax is here. Here it is called as family. My spouse, husband के लिए wife, wife के लिए husband, children. Children always include adopted children and all that. And parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, If they are wholly dependent on you, they are said to be your family members for GST purpose. This is the same definition we use it for ATD, Mediclaim. Mediclaim के लिए हम यही definition use करते हैं. Spouse and children, तो of course yes. Parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, and all only if they are mainly dependent. Nice, okay. And now, what is a related person? Yes, related person. Transactions between related person also the GST is charged. So now, what is related person? This definition, I think it is so much in detail covered in related parties, in accounting standards, in Ind AS, in income tax. I think मुझे लॉ का नॉलेज तो नहीं है, पास होने के बाद नहीं पढ़ा, लेकिन लॉ में भी होगा ही. It's that important in case of companies and directors and all. Yes, right? So related person for GST purpose, such persons are officers or directors of one another's business. I am the director of another company and here, or I am the director here, but I am the employee in the another company. Then such persons are officers or directors of one another's business. Such persons are legally recognized partner in a business. We two are partners in a firm, then we two are related persons. Such persons are employer and employee. But or an employer and employee, GST is specifically excluded. Otherwise you say, ma'am, हमको सैलरी पे तो कभी जीएसटी नहीं लगी, तो नहीं लगता है जीएसटी. Gift by employer to employee is also exempt up to 50,000. In income tax, the limit is different. 7,500, here it is different. So such person are legally recognized partner, related person. I'm just talking related person. So related person may sometimes GST is levied, sometimes it's exempt. You'll see tomorrow. Schedule 1, 2, and 3 we are going to do for section 7 tomorrow. Okay. Any person directly or indirectly owns, controls, or holds 25% or more of the outstanding voting stock or shares of both of them. Are you all getting? Any person directly or indirectly owns or controls or holds 25% or more voting right. I am having 30% shares in A company and I am having 25% shares in B company. Common shareholder. A and B company will become related person. Literally, I am saying one एक के लिए एक पेज भर के notes और example लिख सकते हैं. I do it in direct taxes final students के लिए. When we teach international transactions, GAR and all, आपको जरूरत नहीं है. Just have a broader view, understand. Yeah, एक idea होनी चाहिए because you all are going to do internship, you all are going to work in field, and GST is like ongoing. As a teacher, I am also learning GST. As a student, you are also learning GST. ठीक है? चलो. So one of them directly or indirectly controls other. Both are controlled by a third person. I am the main controlling person or director in A company. I am the main controller of B company. Automatically A and B company are related. Controller common hai, owner common hai, like that. Together they directly or indirectly control a third person, or both control each other, or they are the members of the same family, related person. Yes, I am the director in the company and my son is an employee in the company, then we are a family and it's related person. Person who are associated in business of one another, in that one is the sole agent or sole distributor, or it shall be deemed to be related. So you know, sometimes what happens, I am the principal, I have one agent, but he should not sell any other mobile phones. He is the sole agent to sell iPhone in Telangana. Are we related? Yes. If I give iPhone to Reliance and to Chroma and to everyone to sell, no. Are my examples clear? Once again, ye business ki definition, related person. Don't try to mug up A point, B point, no. Have an idea, read it again and again. Person shall be deemed to be, when we do the examples, I told you, पीछे पेज टर्न करके देखो 35 से ज्यादा एग्जांपल्स हैं and they are solved. So that time you should know कि related person है या नहीं. Related persons are officers or directors. They are partners, employer-employee. They commonly hold more than 25%. One person controls another. Both control a third person. Third person controls both. They are the members of same family or sole agent principal relationship. Yes. Next definition is local. Almost we have come to the end of the definition. I know it requires patience to learn definitions like this. ठीक है, easy है. Local authority means panchayat, municipality, cantonment board, zilla parishad, regional council. These are all called as local authority. Nothing to explain now. Different type of supplies are there. Yes, this will again come in chapter 4. इसका नाम ही है chapter 4 का exemption. Exempted supply means supply of goods or services which attracts nil rate or which may be wholly exempt. Like just now I told you, employer and employee. Are they covered in the definition of related person? Yes. Is employee giving service to employer? Yes. But is GST charged? No, because it is exempted supply. Now, taxable supply means a supply of goods or services or both on which GST is levied. Non-taxable supply. Non-taxable supply means supply of goods or services or both which is not leviable. Example of non-taxable supply is alcoholic liquor for human consumption. It's non-taxable. GST nahi lagta hai. Today also on that excise is levied, VAT and CST is levied. So there are a list of the products we have discussed yesterday: alcoholic liquor for human consumption, petrol, ATF, all that. So they are all non-taxable supply. Inward supply in relation to a person shall mean receipt of goods or service or both, whether by purchase acquisition. When I purchase the goods, it's inward supply. I can take input tax credit. Outward supply in relation means supply of goods or service. When I am rendering the service or when I am selling the goods, it's outward. Ma'am, why this name outward supply? It's sale or supply of service. दोनों लिखो ना. You are selling goods, outward supply. You are rendering services, then outward supply. And you charge output GST minus input GST is the GST paid. Outward supply in relation to taxable person means supply of goods or services or both, whether by sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license. अब ये एक एक डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे. Yes. So by anyhow, if you are selling or you are doing transfer or it's a barter or it's an exchange, or you've just given them license to use your patent and all, still GST is going to be charged. Such a beautiful definition. Outward supply doesn't mean just sale. This is the same definition we have seen in capital gain. Sale, exchange, relinquishment, extinguishment. कितने सारे definitions हमने देखे थे transfer के. Once again, outward supply means you are selling goods or services either in the form of sale or transfer or barter. This I'm going to talk in detail now. So is this list clear to all of you? So here we come to end of definitions other than supply. अब supply में consideration होना, it should be for the furtherance of the business. Ingredients of supply is the next topic I'm taking up right now. Yes. Schedule 1, 2, 3 all we will start tomorrow. आज नहीं. Schedule 1 is ये goods है या service है और exempted है, and there are different lists वो करेंगे. Right now, see, this is all what we are going to study in this chapter. I've already given it by, so ये mindset में clear होना चाहिए आपको. Yes. Meaning and scope of supply, I am starting now. But to explain the meaning and scope of supply, I needed the help of these definitions. I am not going to discuss these definitions again in chapter 3. So read it. I'm not saying learn it. I'm again and again saying read it. Yes, everything is clear or not until now? Anyone in the class wants me to scroll up and explain anything back or clear? Section 7, what are the ingredients of supply? Cooking करेंगे थोड़ा सा. And section 8 is composite and mixed supply. ये बहुत easy है, you know. We do the tough things first and we do something like, you know, हर एग्जाम में अगर कुछ ऐसा है कि आपको बहुत टफ लगता है तो कुछ something easy is there which will help you to score definitely 50 marks, and that is like इसको तो कितने stars दे दो. Composite and mixed supply, they'll ask you in problems, they'll ask you in MCQs, and it's like super scoring. Very easy. तो हम इसको last करेंगे. Schedule 1 are activities to be treated as supply even if made without consideration. Sometimes even if ma'am no money is coming, still it is supply. GST तो लगेगा. I'll tell you. Schedule 2 activities or transactions to be treated as supply of goods or services. Okay ma'am, this is supply. All ingredients of supply. But ये goods है या service है? And activities or transactions which are neither supply of goods nor services, those crematorium services, exempt services. This is a very small list of exempt services. Detailed is there in chapter 4, exemptions. So this mind mapping should be clear, and this is what is going to go for the coming 3 classes. Chalo, let us write now. Ingredients क्या है supply के? Taxable event in the GST, it occurs, creates in GST the entire value of supply of goods or services taxed together. Okay, unlike earlier it was charged separately. So supply के ingredients, star mark this, very important. Supply should be of goods or service. Underline the way I am doing. Supply पे GST levy होता है. The first thing I started the class with was flowchart. GST is levied on supply of goods and services. Supply should be for consideration. Consideration can be in monetary terms or forbearance कि नहीं अब हम ये नहीं करेंगे, whatever it may. Supply should be in course of furtherance of business. One exception is there, importation of service. I tell you. Supply should be made by a taxable person. If I am an unregistered dealer, I have not registered in GST and I am rendering teaching service, can I charge GST? It's a supply of service. GST लगता है teaching service पे. But if I am not registered, can I charge GST? No. So supply should be made by a taxable person. Supply should be a taxable supply. Okay, I am a registered person, but my supply is specifically exempt in schedule 3. अभी आपने देखा ना? Supply है, yes. Just look at all these details. Supply is there of goods or service. Money, consideration is coming. It is for the business purpose. And I am a registered person. But then this supply is specifically exempted. There's a big list of exempted services. Right. तो supply में GST charge नहीं होगा. ठीक है? Right. Once again, third time, where it is important, talk. And the more mutually you all discuss with each other, चलो मैम ने आज ये पढ़ाया, आज के आज ही ICI का study material सिर्फ read करना है, read. It's beautiful and that is also full of examples, different than what I am giving you, but बहुत अच्छा है, एक बार reading तो करना चाहिए. I would never say कि नहीं पढ़ना है. हाँ, exam oriented, my material and the back questions of ICI and past exams. Enough. Sure. Supply should be of goods or services. It should be for consideration. Consideration ही नहीं है तो क्या charge करोगे GST? GST is 18%, but transaction value is 0. So how you are going to charge? Supply should be made in course of furtherance of business. Supply should be made by taxable person. Supply should be a taxable supply. Yes. So details now we will check what is supply. This is the same repetition of the table. Supply includes section 7. All form of supply of goods, sale, ये हम detail में अभी देखेंगे. This is the last part we are doing today. Supply includes supply of goods in these forms. I will check and then we will stop. Import of services for consideration, whether or not for furtherance of business, that is also supply. Import of the services, when you are taking import of services, कोई कुछ technical glitch हो गया, हमने France से technical team को बुलाया, or there's a fight of company and we are calling solicitor from London, of course it's import of service, GST लगेगा. Activities specified in schedule 1 made or agreed to be made without consideration. वही schedule 1 is the पैसे नहीं भी आए तो GST लगेगा. Schedule 2, either these are supply of goods or supply of services, and then the last one is exempted. ठीक है? चलो. Supply excludes activities or transactions, specifically they are there in the schedule 3. Okay. This diagram now we will check tomorrow. This diagram is only for your understanding. Please don't draw it in exam. And if you want, please do an arrow mark. वो table और ये diagram same ही है. It is absolutely same. I'll explain tomorrow. Right now, last part of the topic today. Supply of goods for consideration in course of furtherance of business. Yes. So now supply includes all forms of supply of goods or services. Okay. And for consideration in course of furtherance of business in form of sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease and disposal. मैम गुड सेल किए तो होता, बट कैसे गुड सेल करोगे? ट्रांसफर भी कर सकते हो, जो भी है वी विल सी नाउ. चलो लेट अस टेक अप नाउ फर्स्ट वन. Yeah, but definitely promise, it's like a promise. I promise that supply should be for consideration. पैसे आने चाहिए. If there's no consideration, then on what you're going to charge GST. And in course of furtherance of business. अब दोनों में एक एक exception. If I teach that, again you'll be confused. कल पढ़ेंगे exception. अभी sale and transfer. Just understand the meaning. Sale is the act of selling. The transfer of ownership. What is sale? Ownership is transferred. Okay, take this goods, give me money. All rights of the property, risk, reward, ownership is transferred. That is sale. That is already defined in the sale of the goods side. Transfer has been defined as to convey or remove from one place, person to another, specifically to make over the possession or contract. Stock transfer. Transfer of goods from Hyderabad manufacturing unit to Mumbai selling counter is taxable. GST is leviable. ठीक है? So sale is outright ownership is transferred in consideration of money, and transfer is you can't sell to your branch, but can you transfer and get money from branch? Hyderabad manufacturing unit is like transferring the goods to Mumbai branch, and Mumbai branch is remitting the money. Maybe cost to cost. Branch accounting देखते हैं ना, goods received from the HO. So is GST levied on that? Yes. Is my simple English explanation clear or not? It's not how good I can teach. It's the feedback you all should give, whether you all are following or not. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? I say this is taught to me by my teachers, and they say the best way a teacher can see is go to the level of the student and teach. So I want the feedback from you all. Is my speed and is fine and my examples are clear or not? Sale के लिए मैंने बताया, transfer के लिए मैंने example बताया. Now barter. Barter I have already told you. I am giving you teaching services. Doctor is doing an operation, and instead of charging for the operation, from the client he is buying a car. हाँ, नी रिप्लेसमेंट का ऑपरेशन कर दिया और अगेंस्ट दैट कार खरीद लिया आपके शोरूम से. Barter is exchange of goods or services instead of the money. We all know what is barter system. There's no money. But is there consideration? Yes. Is the consideration in kind? Yes. Barter deals with transactions which only includes an exchange of goods or service. Exchange may cover a situation where goods are paid, where goods are paid for partly in goods or partly in money. Where there is barter system, it could be in part money and all, but it is a part of supply. Buying a new refrigerator against the old. तो जो नया रेफ्रिजरेटर है पूरे पे जीएसटी लगेगा. हाँ, but then we have purchased the new in 25 and old का 5 to 20 पे जीएसटी नहीं लगेगा. Now this calculation and how input output is done is in the next chapter. Chartered accountant supplies accounting and auditing services, and against that he is taking some service. License or lease or rental. Licenses, lease or rental of goods are presently treated as services where the goods are transferred without effective possession. You are doing construction business and you need dumpers and crane. So now आप crane hire कर रहे हो किसी से. You're not buying crane, you're hiring. Okay? So you are paying rental for using the cranes. Or you are having a license to use the patent. Like I'll give you an example. Lijjat papad is basically manufactured from Gujarat. But if you buy Lijjat packet next time in Hyderabad, पीछे turn करके देखना, packet के पीछे लिखा रहता है manufactured in Shadnagar, Hyderabad. Just some name, random name. That means what? हम जो लिज्जत पापड़ खा रहे हैं वो गुजरात से नहीं आ रहा है. Gujarat has given their license, their patent. Okay, this is the dough, this is the packing material and paint, everything they will give. You just manufacture the papad in Hyderabad and sell it as Lijjat, and they will get the royalty and all. So all these transactions, is this a supply of goods and service and all? Just in a very raw way I am explaining. So license and all pay GST is charged. Yes. There is no transfer of goods I am saying, but in all this there is just the transfer of the right to use. Lease hota hai na? Yes. I can take this road on lease for 10 years. Only my vehicles will be parked here. ऐसे lease पे लेते हैं ना? Yeah. In GST regime, such license and lease and rental of the goods with or without the transfer of right to use would be covered under supply of service. ये सब service में ही जाएगा. Because we are not selling the goods. I'm not selling crane and all. I'm just giving the service. Okay. So service includes all this. Sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal. Sale के time में कैसे होता है ये schedule 1 में कल देखेंगे. Supply should be for consideration. Consideration means everything which is received. We have seen the consideration. Yes. However, most important star market consideration excludes subsidy received by central government. MCQ or objective questions true and false में बहुत पूछते हैं. Supply includes consideration. Consideration जो भी आ रहा है, if subsidy is coming, it is not a part of the consideration. And deposit given in respect of supply of goods or services shall not be considered as payment unless supplier applies the deposit. Now this is good. I am giving my property to you to use. You are paying rent 10,000 per month, but I have taken rupees 1 lakh as deposit. 10 month ka rent 1 lakh मैंने deposit लिया. So the first rent you are giving me is 1 lakh 10,000. What is the supply and consideration? 10,000. 1 lakh is the deposit. Oh, it's like a caution money. When the agreement is over, I'll return your 1 lakh rupees. But at the end you are saying, ma'am, I will vacate the premises. Apna deposit use kar lo rental ke against. That time GST will be charged on the deposit. Right now, once again, I want to repeat, Supply is for consideration, but consideration excludes subsidy and deposit. You pay GST on telephone bill? Yes. But for getting that telephone postpaid connection, do you need to deposit money? Yes. On that deposit, GST is charged? No. But when you want to cancel and you want to say, use the deposit for my last month bill, now that deposit has become supply for consideration. Will GST be charged? Yes. That's a simple way of learning. Yes. So supply has to be for consideration and it has to be for furtherance of business. Business के लिए होना चाहिए तो ही GST लगेगा. Personal पे GST नहीं है. Exception is there. Supply of artwork to galleries. ये ना example बार-बार आता है. I've taken it from the material only. So when a painter supplies his artwork to the gallery, is GST charged? No, because we don't know what is the consideration and how much money. But one painting is picked up and the gallery people send that money to the painter. Now, is this a supply? Yes. Is the consideration received? Yes. Is GST charged? Yes. It is further clarified in case of supply by artists through galleries. There is no consideration flowing from gallery to artist when the artwork are sent and all, and the same is not supply. Yes. It is only when the buyer selects a particular artwork displayed at gallery that actual supply ye underline करें. तब actual supply takes place and applicable GST would. Here, time of supply be important है. Painting is received by the gallery today, but if it is sold after 3 months, GST will be charged after 3 months. Because important thing for supply for GST is consideration. That's it. If gift or donation is made to charitable organization, GST is not charged. I told you. Because payment has the character of gift or donation. I'm donating laptop to my son's school. So उसपे कोई GST charge नहीं होगा. Because if there is no consideration and the purpose is not furtherance of business. I'm not advertising concept classes over there. It's for the philanthropic purpose or non-commercial purpose. Okay? Right. Next is supply of the goods should be for the furtherance of business. For that, first you should know what is the definition of business. So, business के लिए है तो ही GST is charged. If it is for non-business philanthropic purpose, GST is not charged. Sale of goods in exhibition and all, supply of free sample to induce customers would be in course of the furtherance of the business. GST लगेगा. हाँ, business also includes vocation. This one more thing is also there. Yes. Now, ये थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं. Supply includes furtherance of the business. It is essential that same in course in furtherance of business. Okay. It would be liable to tax so long as it is related to business. Supply which are not in course of the business will not qualify as supply except in case of importation of service. Importation of service for personal reason. For a family dispute also you are taking the services of a person from Spain, GST लगेगा. I want to repeat, supply is always for furtherance of business except import of services for personal reason also, GST is going to be charged. Yes. Does any supplies made by individual in his personal capacity do not come under the ambit of GST unless they fall within the definition of business. Okay? Right. I think this will be enough. We will continue this tomorrow because this will take time. Ingredients of supply se fir se we are going to do in the next class tomorrow, and then tomorrow we will start with the cases. The first cases where this is 1 second. So, what we have done in today's class, we should recollect. We have done all the definitions and we have started with ingredients of supply for consideration. for business purpose. Okay, for consideration, for business, furtherance of business. Okay, so these are all the ingredients. Furtherance of business, I will stress on, and we will take it more in tomorrow's class. And then tomorrow we will start with the schedule 1. Schedule 1 is very nice. It's exception to rule कि पैसे आए नहीं आए, इस पे तो GST देना ही है, because you have taken input tax credit. So tomorrow we are going to start with schedule 1, then 2, then 3, and the most easiest part I have kept it for last, that is mixed and composite supply. Now before we close on, one thing, as we are already maintaining the list of all the sections and abbreviations, sections में तो you can write that table, इसमें add on करो. Yeah. What did I teach you today? RCM. You know, sometimes we use abbreviations, so you should know. Reverse charge mechanism. Yeah. Wherein the recipient will pay the tax. Reverse charge mechanism. I use the word today, Resident Welfare Association. Resident Welfare Association. Yes. And then we all know what is CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. Like that, indirect taxes in India is governed by CIVIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. Central Board of Direct Taxes तो ये सबको मालूम है. Central Board of Direct Taxes is the highest authority to govern income tax in India. Yes. So CIVIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes. Yes. And for this we have the GST Council also. So these are, this is, if you like, you do this, I'm telling you, but it is good to know the terms very well and to write it. It's an interesting list which we are making. I hope you are following. Definitions वापस से पढ़ो. I won't revise it. कल तो मैं revision करूँगी, but I won't teach it in every chapter, upcoming chapter till 6th chapter. Yes, that's all for today's class. For this chapter 2, we have taken important definitions and ingredients of supply. Tomorrow, we will continue with schedule 1 with more examples. And yet I have not started with problems. There are 35 example-like problems which we are going to solve it at the end. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye all of you. Any doubt, I'll be here after stopping the recording for 5 minutes. आपके अराउंड बिजनेस हो रहा है, देखो कुछ भी डाउट है तो पूछो, राइट? So what we have done in today's class, we should recollect. We have done all the definitions and we have started with ingredients of supply for consideration, for business purpose. Okay, for consideration, for business, furtherance of business. Okay, so these are all the ingredients. Furtherance of business, I will stress on, and we will take it more in tomorrow's class. And then tomorrow we will start with the schedule 1. Schedule 1 is very nice. It's exception to rule कि पैसे आए नहीं आए, इस पे तो GST देना ही है, because you have taken input tax credit. So tomorrow we are going to start with schedule 1, then 2, then 3, and the most easiest part I have kept it for last, that is mixed and composite supply. Now before we close on, one thing, as we are already maintaining the list of all the sections and abbreviations, sections में तो you can write that table, इसमें add on करो. Yeah. What did I teach you today? RCM. You know, sometimes we use abbreviations, so you should know. Reverse charge mechanism. Yeah. Wherein the recipient will pay the tax. Reverse charge mechanism. I use the word today, Resident Welfare Association. Resident Welfare Association. Yes. And then we all know what is CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. Like that, indirect taxes in India is governed by CIVIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. Central Board of Direct Taxes तो ये सबको मालूम है. Central Board of Direct Taxes is the highest authority to govern income tax in India. Yes. So civic Central Board of Indirect Taxes. Yes. And for this we have the GST Council also. So these are, this is, if you like, you do this, I'm telling you, but it is good to know the terms very well and to write it. It's an interesting list which we are making. I hope you are following. Definitions वापस से पढ़ो. I won't revise it. कल तो मैं revision करूँगी, but I won't teach it in every chapter, upcoming chapter till 6th chapter. Yes, that's all for today's class. For this chapter 2, we have taken important definitions and ingredients of supply. Tomorrow, we will continue with schedule 1 with more examples. And yet I have not started with problems. There are 35 example-like problems which we are going to solve it at the end. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye all of you. Any doubt, I'll be here after stopping the recording for 5 minutes. आपके अराउंड बिजनेस हो रहा है, देखो कुछ भी डाउट है तो पूछो, राइट? So did you enjoy these conceptual learning? If yes, then below the video the link is given for our Telegram group. You can join. For concept classes app you can download. Lot of videos are there in the free content also, along with the PDF material. So whole chapter you can download the material, you can watch all the videos in detail and do learning. Lot of theory questions, other PDFs are all included. Okay, right? So do connect with us with all the links below. If you have any query, you can write a mail and you can connect with us through the link, and would be more than glad to help you join our concept classes app community. Waiting to welcome you all, right? Thank you so much. Wish you very all the best. And if you really like these kind of the concepts, hit the notification button, hit the like button so that you're notified next time when we are taking a lecture or we are uploading it in the YouTube. And do share this video with friends. Do comment below the video for any query also, any doubt also, and if you have really taken some value addition. I'm on a mission to help more than 10,000 students. I really want to help by putting lot of value addition with the way I have learned. These all subjects are interlinked: account, tax, costing, FM. And you will enjoy this interlinking knowledge. Wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.